I think we're talking about housing here, and we need to talk about the fact that Liberals believe that we need to have a national housing initiative in which we come as full partners with, as I said before, the other two levels of government, with non-profit sectors and with the private sector. Using all of the tax incentives, actual funding, using crown lands where necessary, using city lands where necessary, using old school lands where necessary, finding ways to develop housing strategies. I think they cannot be separate from other strategies. You heard just now there has to be transit strategies, health strategies, green strategies, environmentally appropriate strategies when we deal with housing. However, what I wanted to say is it was very interesting to hear the Conservatives say they are not interested in a national housing strategy. I mean, we heard earlier on that the Conservatives believe housing is important, and yet they're not interested in playing with anybody else at the table. This is what we have seen of this Conservative government. They don't play with anybody else at the table. Liberals brought in national housing at one point in time under a minority government of Lester Pearson. We played well in the sandbox with the NDP, who walked along with us and helped us to do that. I don't know if the NDP will do it again, because Jack had his opportunity in 2005 to wait for a 2006 budget and didn't do it. We're committed, you can trust us, we've done it before, and we will continue to do it.
You've heard our policies from the Green Party, and I don't need to repeat them for you in a closing statement. I want to just ask you to do, well, number one, I want to congratulate you for putting on this forum. I want to thank those of you that have actually sent your policy statements. I've got lots of information from the Canadian Home Builders Association. You've sent packages to all candidates. Congratulations for doing that. That's great. That informs us as politicians in terms of our policy developments in the future. So the two things I'd like you to ask are, number one, open your minds to what the Green Party Canada stands for. Lots of people, I think too narrowly about us. I've got platforms over there, and the platforms are on our website, greenparty.ca. That is included in that website is a link to our Vision Green. It's 160 pages of detailed policy that we've developed in consultation with groups like yours. My door is always open for meetings. You can hand me your cards, and it would be wonderful to meet with you after the election as well. It certainly helps inform better policy. The second thing I'm going to ask you all to do is vote. Of course I would like you to vote Green, but I would want you to vote, because I think the tragedy of the last election was that more people didn't vote than voted for the Conservatives that formed government. So please get out and vote. Encourage everyone around you to vote. Thanks very much for coming out.
Thank you. Hetty's exactly right. Actually, we're the longest serving minority government under Prime Minister Harper. We're the longest serving minority parliament in Canadian history. And the way that we actually have stayed in power for that long is because we do show a capacity actually to work with others. And the way that I know that is because, Hetty, thank you for voting for our last two budgets and keeping us in office. Now, with regard specifically to this forum, I thank you all, the Real Estate Association, for putting this on, for having this opportunity to talk about a very specific issue. Because I can tell you, having been in many all-candidates forums, sometimes they're massive and everything, but having very specific technical questions, I hope that all of you found this to be worthwhile. I know all of us will be here available after if you have some individual questions. And I would just end with this. Canada has the strongest economy in the G7. We've regained every job that we lost in the recession. We have the lowest taxes in 50 years. The challenges that we face with regard to housing are because the economy is so strong that people want to move here. People are coming here. The challenge of new Canadians coming to Canada, migrating and immigrating to Canada, wanting to come to Vancouver. We have challenges, to be sure, of those who are struggling and those who can't find affordable housing. Solutions need to be sought, and they are being sought, and we're working on it. We have a great Canada-BC affordable housing program, and these things are going in the right direction. They have to be flexible going forward to meet the new challenges of the future. But if you look at the United States, in the 2010 midterm elections, they had candidates forums just like this, and they had people coming to the microphone saying, my God, what are we doing? Our houses are falling apart. They have no value. What are we going to do? And they were in economic crisis. We're going in the right direction. Values are going up. The economy is strong, and we'll keep going in the right direction if you vote to re-elect Stephen Harper as the Prime Minister. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
First of all, thank you very much for coming today. It was really great to have, I think, what was a serious debate and discussion about housing, and whoever has been doing the tweeting, you've done a fantastic job. I had to keep sneaking a look at my BlackBerry to see. So it's true, the message is going out, so well done. That was really terrific. I don't know, I guess I want to end by saying, I feel like we have failed Canadians. You know, we live in this awesome country, we're a wealthy country, and yet we have probably 300,000 people by conservative estimates who are homeless. We have 1.5 million households who have severe housing problems, and again, I think that's a very conservative estimate. So something isn't going right. So I'll differ with James on that quite seriously. I really hope that what comes out of today is that we will now have housing as a higher political priority. I've certainly tried to do that in the House of Commons, and you know, it's easy to go on the attack, but I do feel that we started running into problems when our housing programs, which had been terrific, and I was on City Council in Vancouver in the 1980s, and we relied on federal housing programs. And when that came to a crashing halt in 1996, then we started running into trouble. So I think we've got to get it back on track. We need to have that housing plan. I'm very committed to bringing that back in the House of Commons, and I hope that this discussion will help do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.